Yo, what's going on, guys? It's GZTV in constant fear that my computer's gonna bug on me. We are back with another video, and today we are going to be talking about Halloween Ends. Oh man, I'm excited to talk about this. I mean, it's a very controversial movie. A lot of critics are talking about it, but I just want to get straight into it. Yeah, brand new 2022 film just came out yesterday. I watched it on Peacock because you know damn well I'm not going to the theaters. I don't know. For a movie that could possibly disappoint a franchise, which to an extent it kind of did, but I can still give it some passes there. I'm just going to turn this light on. I don't think that helped anything. But we're going to go through the plot, and we're going to go through what kind of people think about it, because it's a very controversial movie right now. In 2019, Corey Cunningham is babysitting a young boy named Jeremy, who pulls a prank by locking him inside the attic. Now, Jeremy is a piece of shit kid, and honestly, he deserved what came for him. Obviously, Corey is a character that we support throughout the film, and he has a very interesting character arc that we've never seen in a Halloween movie before, I don't think. Has anyone tried to be Michael Myers in the Halloween franchise? I don't think so. Any of the movies. I don't think that's ever happened, which is interesting. Just as Jeremy's parents come home, Corey kicks the door open and accidentally knocks Jeremy off the balcony to his death. And I mean, it is kind of disturbing and kind of shocking when you first see it, but it's also kind of hilarious because of the redemption. Like, Corey goes on a damn redemption tour this movie for everyone that kind of doubts him and whatnot. Corey is accused of intentionally killing Jeremy, but is cleared of manslaughter because it was incidental, and his lawyer and him were able to kind of prove that. So he didn't. If he didn't actually put hands on the kid, then it's definitely accidental, like for sure. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how they could have proved that. But that's kind of like the opening of the film, if you will. 3 years later, on October 19th, 2022, it's kind of dope that this movie takes place 5 years after the movie actually came out. Like, that's kind of interesting. The town of Haddonfield, Illinois is still reeling from the aftermath of Michael Myers' latest killing spree, while Michael has vanished. So obviously 4 years prior to this, Michael Myers went on his killing spree. Well, actually, I think it was 2019, literally during Halloween Kills. Yeah. So Michael's disappeared, and the town is distraught. Laurie Strode is writing a memoir, having bought a new house and living with Allison, her granddaughter, since Allison's mother and Laurie's daughter, Karen, as well as her father, were slaughtered by Michael. So obviously Alan is going through things and definitely kind of considering leaving town and finding a new life. But she can't leave her grandma, I suppose. Meanwhile, Corey is now working at his uncle's salvage yard, still hated by the town, everyone looking at him as a cold-blooded murderer, like he actually put a knife through the kid, when really he just accidentally kicked a door into him and he fell off the stairs, the balcony, or whatever you call it. On his way home one day, he is taunted by high school bullies and injures himself in the process. Obviously, the stereotypical bullies that pick on you. Obviously, it's kind of justified why they're picking on Corey here, but I don't know, it's interesting, to say the least. If my computer freezes, I'm canceling this video, like seriously. I'm trying everything I can for that not to happen. Yeah, and observing Laurie brings him to the doctor's office where Allison actually works, so she's like a nurse there. And Laurie knows what he's going through. She's felt pain a lot in her life, so she kind of helps him out, and they kind of bond over the whole thing. The two begin developing a relationship and later attend a Halloween party, but Corey is confronted by Jeremy's mother, leaves the party, and is confronted by the high schooler, so he has a really bad night out on the town, which is probably expected, I guess. Corey is thrown off a bridge and then dragged into the sewers by an unknown figure, and we kind of infer that this is Michael Myers. By the way, at this point we're damn near 40 minutes into the movie when this happens, and there's definitely some flaws with this movie. I don't think they introduced Michael Myers soon enough in this one, so I don't know, it's really interesting. He wakes up in the sewers and is confronted by Michael, who has been living in the sewers for the past 4 years. This is where he's disappeared to. There's like a homeless man like chilling out near him. Yeah, we find out where Michael Myers has been all this time, and it took 40 minutes to do so. Maybe not that long. I don't remember how long it really was. After holding him by the throat, Michael elects to let Corey go, and maybe they could work together and have their own savagery, because Corey has killed someone himself, technically. Accidentally, of course. On the way out of the sewers, Corey is confronted by a homeless man with a knife. Like, what is he doing in there? He keeps dragging people in there. Why did he spare you? Like, obviously, Michael Myers has probably been causing this guy some stress for the past 4 years because he knows where he's been. Obviously, the homeless man can't go and tell anybody because he's fucking homeless. No one's going to listen to him. They probably think he's on drugs. In a struggle, Corey stabs and kills the man before fleeing. He has to do what he has to do. Both of these first 2 kills were justified, and obviously he's going to have some character development that's going to change that. Corey and Allison make up and go on a dinner date, but Allison's ex, who is a police officer, shows up and harasses them both. Oh, you're with the killer? You're with the guy that killed these people? Like, that sort of thing. When obviously it was unintentional. People don't know the whole situation. They just make assumptions. That's kind of how society is. This leads Corey to later lure the cop into the sewers where Michael kills him and not Corey. So Corey so far has only committed 2 murders and they were justifiable. Michael can kill these people, so Corey's kind of feeding these people to Michael slowly. It's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic. Like these 2 working together. It's really cool. Allison finds out she was passed over for a promotion in favor of a fellow nurse who is having an affair with the doctor, so she's just really pissed off. She's had it with her job. I think we've all been there with a job before. Corey and Michael team up and murder the doctor and nurse at the doctor's home. So, yeah, kind of unjustified. I mean, they're coming to Allison's defense, but this is the first unjustified murder that Corey commits, and he's going to commit some more, trust me, and Michael kills the nurse. So Michael has 2 bodies. Corey has killed 4 people, technically. Let's see. Allison and Corey plan to leave Haddonfield because of the past trauma, while Lori becomes increasingly suspicious of Corey after he begins mimicking Michael's behavior, staring outside of their window, has the same eyes as him, kind of like same stance. I don't know. It's really interesting. Lori kind of sees the signs, and she needs to warn Allison about it, but she never really does. I don't know. It's weird. Because probably she'd probably be looked at like she was crazy. She forbids him to leave with Allison, but Corey retorts by blaming her for the events that have occurred in Haddonfield and says if he cannot have Allison, no one will. I don't know what that means, but given the murderous intent, I feel like we should know. So October 31st rolls around, Halloween. Corey returns to the sewers and successfully fights Michael for his mask. So he takes his mask and he's going to become the new Haddonfield murderer, I guess, Michael Myers. Meanwhile, Lori and Allison argue as she plans to leave, and Allison too blames Lori for Michael's actions, which obviously the victim blaming is a big issue in this world. So, yeah, definitely an interesting dynamic. That night, Corey embarks on a rampage, murdering the high schoolers at the salvage yard, literally with his father attending the yard, making sure nothing bad happens. Because obviously a lot of shit could go down at a salvage yard. In the confusion, Corey's uncle is also accidentally killed. It was his uncle? I thought it was his father. It wasn't his father, it was his uncle. Okay. So yeah, he ducks out of the way and one of the high schoolers shoots the dad in the face. Or the uncle, sorry. He then goes on to kill his mother, as well as the DJ and receptionist at the radio station. So far he has claimed... Okay, think about it, okay. 8 lives. He's killed 8 people. Back at the Strode house, Lori Foe attempts suicide to lure Corey to her, whom she shoots down the stairs. She's been here before. She knows exactly what he's planning. Corey then stabs himself in the neck to frame Lori for his death in front of the arriving Allison to make Lori look terrible. Because, yeah, he's not the real Michael Myers. But she knows who he is and what he was trying to do this whole time. Michael suddenly arrives to retrieve his mask and kills Corey by breaking his neck. And after a struggle, Laurie is able to pin Michael to the table with a knife in both hands. So this is where the final battle is. This is where kind of the trailers came from. These two kind of fighting to the death to see how this legacy will end, how this franchise will kind of end. But I think we're going to get a reboot in the future. I'm almost guaranteeing that. It's too iconic of a series to just leave in the dust. She then removes his mask and slits his throat, so she's trying to get rid of him once and for all. Michael rips a hand free and tries to strangle Laurie, but Allison arrives and breaks his arm before Laurie slices it open, killing him. Yeah, so blood loss, I guess, killed him. Interesting. With Michael finally dead, Laurie takes his body to the salvage yard, which is actually interesting. There's kind of some cool... I don't really know how to interpret the symbolism, but there's definitely something cool going on there. You know, that's where Corey worked, and where some of the killings happened, and yeah. She attracted the residents of Haddonfield who follow her in a procession because obviously they want to see Michael Myers dead as well. She dumps his body into an industrial shredder at Corey's uncle's scrapyard. In the ensuing days, Allison and Laurie reconcile and decide they need to bond together. They were both victims of murderers. Allison leaves Haddonfield after discovering the truth about Corey, while Laurie finishes her memoir and rediscovers her romance with Officer Hawkins. It's kind of an interesting full circle moment. In Laurie's house, Michael's mask remains left behind from his death, so kind of an iconic way to leave this sequel, or this trilogy. Let's get to the reception, and then I'm kind of done with this video. 39%, 5.1 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. Halloween ends for now anyway, with a frequently befuddling installment that's stabbed, slashed, and beaten by a series of frustrating missed opportunities. They did kind of take this story and take it in a weird direction. It was still a fun movie to watch, but I mean, for the true Halloween fans, I understand their frustration. 4.5 out of 10 on Metacritic. Mixed and average reviews. It's a C+ on Cinema Score, the lowest score of the franchise by this company. 1.5 out of 5 for Richard Roeper. The so-called finale, the Michael Myers saga, is just stabbing, metaphors, stabbing, soap opera, stabbing, marching band bullies, stabbing, and more stabbing. How the fuck are marching band bullies existing? How do you get bullied by people in the marching band? The film is neither scary nor fun. I think it was fun. Some people don't say it's fun. It's the most joylessly metaphorical and convoluted entry of the franchise to date. The film lost up in its own abyss in an unsatisfying closing chapter. Green's direction is struggling to synthesize the serious stuff with the demands of a popcorn shocker. Yeah, that's my thing. It was kind of fun. It was kind of a shocker film. It's a sloppy movie whose principal new inspiration feels bogus, although horror fans might enjoy homages to other films from the Carpenter canon. 1.5 out of 4 for Brian Tallarico. The film is poorly executed, rushed, barely a Halloween movie due to the story's focus on newly introduced characters. Ronan Campbell's performance, very lacking. I'm not sure who that was. Was that Corey, I guess? Halloween Ends was seen as the best by some out of the Green's Halloween trilogy. It's interestingly complex tangle of emotions and fears. It's comparable to Green's previous capably observed independent films. The film is being a movie that's less frantic and more intimate than its predecessor, one that unfolds with a mourning finality. Some people thought it was a little better than Kills. 3 out of 5 stars, I believe, on Time Out. It's a pleasant surprise. I don't know. I don't think it's a surprise to me. I'm just reading reviews here, guys. Some people still think it's an improvement over the predecessor. The film had a lack of focus on the series' main antagonist, and ultimately, it's not particularly good in an unsatisfying close. Curtis's performance was a pleasure to watch, and the film was largely gripping. I don't know. I was kind of bored while watching it sometimes. 2.5 out of 4 on Toronto Star. It's clever, likely to go down with fans of the franchise. Its lack of finality, the closure wasn't really met well. But I don't really have much to say about this movie. I don't really want to talk about it much more due to time constraints. So take this review as you will. I don't know, man.